Hi, good morning. My name is Maria, and I will try to do this video better than the previous one. Then let's start. My name is Maria. My ORCID number is 01689149115, and I am here to speak about the first author of the first part of my thesis concerning the origins and migrations and origins of American Indians. Then I'm feeling freezing cold. We will speak first about the biography of the author, after the bibliography of the author, and finally the point of interest in my research, and finally the conclusion. All right, and the author is Pietro Martire of Anghieria. Then Pietro Martire of Anghieria, he was born in 1457 in Italy, and he died in 1526 in Spain. Then he was humanist and he was geographer, and he participated in some wars to chase Muslims from Spain, the Wars of Granada, where he met the confessor of the Queen Isabel the Catholic. Pardon me. Then is the confessor of the Queen who told him, "Come on, study to be a religious man, a friar, and you will succeed in life." And he did, indeed. He studied instead, and he became a quite famous humanist before starting, we could say starting in the court with the king and the queen, the Catholic. He stayed in the court for 3 generations while the Catholic king and queen governed in Spain. When we had a crisis between Jean the Crazy and Philip the Beautiful. And finally, he stayed during when Charles V was king. But no matter how long did he stay in the court, his passion was always America. This passion started in 1494, and with 2 years after the Columbus discovery, and end in 1526 when he became a member of India's council, and he died. Now we will start speaking about the book. The book is 8 decades of New World of Pietro Martire of Anghieria. I will put in commentaries the book, which has been taken from archives.org, which is translation into English from Latin source. However, I have been working, because I passed the thesis in Spain, then I have been working on this one that I found in the University of Autonomous Barcelona, and I will give you the reference. The reference is Décadas del Nuevo Mundo, edición Crónicas y Memorias, Madrid, 1989. Sorry. I said in the previous video I'm not feeling very well, I'm sick, got vertigo, and sometimes I am not very much with myself. Then please forgive me for that. Fine, then in this book is following the adventures of all those people who goes to America or who has a relation with America. and who come to the court to speak to the king and the queen of Spain, no matter who are those. Why am I interested in speaking to you about this book and why am I interested in what I find this author fascinating is because whereas Christopher Columbus discovered America, when he died, he thought he reached India. However, following the tales, to say like this, the tales, the stories, the thoughts of other humanists, for example, Amerigo Vespuccio, that he sent letters, he is able to determine much better than Christopher Columbus the distance, how big is America, and that is very astonishing because he has never been there. However, Christopher Columbus was there and was wrong. Pietro Martire, he was never there and he was right, or at least righter than Christopher Columbus. It is said that in the chapter 10 of the Decade 2, page 156 to 159, all right? It says, for example, America is like Italy, but 8 times bigger, whereas Christopher Columbus did not think about it. After that, we will pass on to the subject that I am interested in, which is the what is this said about people who was already living there. Bear with me a minute, please. I am back. It's just the night has been so cold that we don't have heater at home. Then I'm feeling very, very, very cold today. Fine. Then I was saying that we will speak in this third part about 2 things which were quite attractive to me. The first one was the thought of those people. I say people between crotches because we will see later on there are differences between them. Then the thought of people who was in America before the Europeans arrived. And also we will speak about one person who does not have as much importance in Cabot's mind, who does not have got very much importance in the Anghieria mind than in many than in British literature nowadays. And of course, this person is Sebastian Cabot, who is issued from the Cabot family. Fine, then let's speak first about the people who was in America before the discovery. It says at the page 305 is the Gate 5, chapter 6, that they were that they used to do idolatry, and they were Mahometans, which means they follow Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, that is in Borneo, in the islands which were baptized Philippines Islands because of the King Philip II. But previously it is said in the 3rd decade, page 166, that they were black slaves. And I have been quite astonished for that, because when Christopher Columbus reached America, he brought with him 16 Indians to sell as slaves. And the king and the queen of Spain, they said, they disagreed. They asked Christopher Columbus to pick them up and to bring them back to their nature. However, if we will see then a full literature develop about the not the possibility exactly, but the origins of Indians according to putting them into being slaves, being servile or not, and another literature about Indians according to their genetic, their customs, their habitudes, their way to speak, their way to eat, to check if they are from one side of the world or from another. That doesn't happen for black people. They are automatically slaves, at least in this book, all right? And they are automatically Ethiopians. And no one wonders if they've got eyes shape, the shape of their eyes is slightly the same as Ethiopians' shape of eyes, if their nose is like Ethiopians' nose, if they dress like Ethiopians, if they eat like Ethiopians or speak like Ethiopians, then there are two hypotheses. Or the whole African continent was known in the past like Ethiopia, or Spain is in war against Ethiopia this time, and that's why they can't put slaves, take black Ethiopian people as slaves. Otherwise, I can't understand why are they automatically slaves and Ethiopians. Another thing that also caught my attention is that those people who are not Mahometans, those people who are not slaves or Ethiopians, are just barbars. It can be as much humanist as we want, it can be as much philosopher as we wish. His opinion about new people, new country, new land is exactly the same than the opinion of Aristotle when Alexander the Great was discovering or conquering the world. He completely disagreed the idea of having the soldiers of Alexander the Great mixing with women coming from conquest villages, conquest places. Then in here is almost the same. I mean, the Spanish person, Spanish soldier who comes to America, of course, he is the person who wins the war. Therefore, he is the civilized person. Therefore, consequently, the person who is in America who lost the war is not civilized. And that is the first opinion Europe has got from what happens in America, because it's the first opinion that is brought to the kings and the queens in the court of Spain. It is quite touching, I think. Finally, I would like to speak about Sebastian Cabot. It's very, very impacting that Sebastian Cabot, how can I explain that? The author likes Sebastian Cabot. He likes very much Sebastian Cabot because he is Italian and the author is Italian as well. Sebastian, according to the author, Sebastian Cabot is an Italian who came to England when he was a very child. But in England, he already did one travel. He doesn't say an exploration, he doesn't say a discovery. Alright? Then he does a travel towards, in fact, he's speaking about the, what is the name? The direction of the sea. Then to check how is the direction of the sea, which goes from the Occident, from the west, which means from England to America, and in America continues to the west, never comes back to the east, continues to the west to come back from the east of England. Then he uses Sebastian Cabot and his travel on the sea. In fact, Sebastian Cabot, when Pietro Martire writes, he is in his house because he did a private trip with 2 boats from England to America. In fact, the port, unfortunately, Sebastian Cabot was sailing the North Sea and he saw plenty of ice. Then he had to go down and reach what was called by him Bacalhao's Island. But at any point, he says in the book, at least in my book, that he discovered the island. He just named it. That's it. However, it's quite funny because when Christopher Columbus writes his letters explaining about his discoveries, he says that he found an island that he called Juana, he found an island that he called La Española in here, and all that was called the discovery of America. In here, Sebastian Cabot does the same with Bacalhao's, but it's not called the discovery of Bacalhao's. It's not called the discovery of America. No. He just named the island. That's it. Nothing else. And he is waiting in Spain to receive any help, any benefit from the crown to be able to go out and make other explorations or other explorations. And we know in 1516 is still waiting, and is in 1526 that he will finally go out for the glory of the Spanish crown. Alright? However, even if in this part of the story that in which he named the Bacalhao's Island, which is in fact the page 208 of my book, the chapter 6, decade 5, then is not treated as discoverer, is not treated as explorer, is not treated as anything. On the contrary, and I want to finish my exposition on this point, when we come to the British literature, we see the position of Sebastian Cabot and his family is slightly the same in England than the position of Christopher Columbus as his children in Spain. Is even better because in Spain, for example, the children of Christopher Columbus, apparently, as far as I remember, they don't have any discovery given to them. They just wanted to be governors, and they had discussions with the crown, and that's it. However, in here, and I will give you 2 titles of 2 books that can support my opinion. The Family Cabot is nearly, well, it's not nearly, the second book we said is a They are discoverer and explorers families. The first book is Merchants and Explorers, Roger Barlow, Sebastian Cabot, and Networks of Atlantic Exchange. It's very interesting, networks. They are people who are building networks. And the second one is much more explicit, John Cabot's Discovery of North America. Then this one is really a plate, say like this, flat. It's a flat title that announces that effectively it was there is a division of America now between two, which is the North, which was discovered by Cabot, and the South, which was discovered by Colon. Even if Colon reached the first in 1492, the whole America. It didn't reach the whole America, it reached the middle, but that it was considered that all was discovered by Christopher Columbus. And it's also very, very funny because, 2 points that I want to say. According to those books, both Christopher Columbus and the Cabot's family have got the same level of discovery. But there is a song that children used to learn in England, as far as I know, which says Christopher Columbus, he crossed the Atlantic, the first one, but he did not discover anything because there were already people there. However, these people, the merit that is taken out of Christopher Columbus is put on the back of the Cabot's family, because if Christopher Columbus didn't discover anything, because it was people already there, as we can see the Mahometans there is spoken after in the 16th century, but the barbars and the black slaves, then Cabot could not find anything either in the north of America, because they were also barbars, and maybe not black slaves, but at least the barbars. What is taken out of one point is given, the merit is taken out of Christopher Columbus is given to John Cabot. And it's quite fascinating, because I think they both have the same, or not the same merit, but if there is people in one part of America, why shouldn't be people in the other part of America as well? Fine. I would like to leave the question there. I hope that will help people to think, or to discuss about it, or maybe to have more interests in this subject. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, very happy New Year, and I hope you will be all healthy, not like me, and you will enjoy time with your family. Fine, see you in January. Bye bye.